You know how people say succulents don't need that much water? Well, while that is mostly true, they do need some water or they end up looking like this. A little dried up and shriveled. So if you think you might also have an underwatered succulent, stick around because I'll be showing you how to find out and most importantly, how to fix it. I'm Audrey from Audrey's Little Farm, and around here it's all about finding joy in the simple things. So, you know, there are some people out there that have a shopping problem at Target, and then there are others like myself that have a shopping problem with plants, or chickens, but it just depends on the day. And in fact, I'd probably be a little bit afraid to add up all the money I've spent on plants over the years. But there's definitely a connection between plants and happiness, and so I'd say it's all worth it. But if you've ever walked out and found a dead plant, I completely understand how upsetting that is because nobody wants to waste their money by killing plants. So today specifically, we're going to be talking about severely underwatered succulents. And while there is a certain point of no return, you can definitely revive an underwater succulent, so before you throw it away, let's give it a shot. The first thing to know about watering succulents is that too much water is definitely worse. If you've ever overwatered a succulent, it pretty much just completely turns to mush. But whereas an underwater succulent just slowly begins drying out and the leaves start getting a little bit crispy, and at that point it can still be revived. Unfortunately, when I finally found this dried out succulent out in the garden, it was hidden behind some other plants, so I took it to the side and then I broke the pot. So I figured there's no better time than today to replant it and then start bringing it back to life. So the first thing that you need to do is plant your succulent in a well-draining succulent soil mix if it isn't already. Regular potting soil holds on to way too much moisture and eventually that can lead to root rot. The next thing is to water much more frequently than you would otherwise until you notice the succulents start coming back to life and looking healthy again. A normal watering schedule for succulents would be watering every 7 to 10 days deeply, a little bit more in the summer and a little bit less in the winter. But when a succulent is super dried out, I like to water it every 1 to 3 days deeply, but if the soil is still moist to touch, then skip watering that day. And then as soon as you notice your succulent start perking back up, you can just put it back on its regular watering schedule. So as a test, I'm going to start keeping track today to see how long it takes my succulent to look good again, and then I'm going to shoot another video so I can show you the progress. And I know I already mentioned to plant your succulents in a well-draining succulent soil, but I completely forgot to mention that you need to make sure your pot has a drainage hole. If it doesn't have a drain hole, it doesn't matter what soil you use because the water's not going to drain out anyways. And the problem is a lot of pots out there don't have drainage holes. But luckily, if your pot that you're using doesn't have a drainage hole, come in this next video right here because I'm going to show you how to easily do it yourself. Have a great day and I will see you there.